if this is where we're like, oh man, it's too hard. Like, they need to just stop making a movie.
We haven't even gotten to the conflict yet.
Yeah, and we are having inconsistencies with a chess game that's not part of the plot.
It's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Then it's time to pack it up early.
Grab some popcorn and stick around. We've got some garbage to talk about.
Hi, Rogue.
Hey, Zax.
Hi, Karina.
Hey, Zax. Hey, Rogue.
Hey, Karina.
Wow. Well, we're in for a special treat today. Rogue, you have a very special movie to tell us about, right?
Yes. So the story of how I brought this movie to this channel, I saw it while I was in the nail salon. My nail salon is awesome. They play usually pretty great movies. I've seen The Sixth Sense there. I've seen Mama. They have a pretty good selection. This one was not, and I didn't get to finish it while I was getting my nails done, but immediately I was like, we have to cover this. It's called Deadly Switch. If you probably saw the title, called Deadly Switch. It's very Lifetime-esque. I think it's the company that produced it, Mara Vista, they do Lifetime movies, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of Lifetime movies.
So that explains a lot. Initially, we were going to do this movie for Pride Month because it is very clear that the writer and directors wanted to get across a queer message without it ever overtly being spoken in the movie. There are lots of gay moments. But we had so much that we wanted to do for Pride Month that we didn't get to it. So now we're putting it in Spooky Month because it's supposed to be a thriller. So let's see if I can talk about queer spooky moments. So the movie opens on our main character, Anna, in a bar, but she's doing something kind of quirky in the bar. She's not like other girls. She's studying in the bar.
I hate that so much. Just like, why? I mean, it's fine. Like, you don't have to be like a party girl or whatever, but why is this where you chose to study?
Yeah, I mean, well, we get kind of an explanation later, but it's not a good explanation.
Oh. So, when I was in college, I used to write a bunch of essays at, like, the pub on campus. Just because, like, that's where my friends and I would hang out. It was the most ineffective, like, not helpful thing to do. So, and, like, they're loud, usually. Like, and especially if it's, like, a college hangout spot, you're gonna get no work done there.
Yeah.
And she's literally at the bar. It's not like she's at a bar at a table. She's at the bar part
like,
of the bar.
The bartender's, like, making a martini in front of her.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I kind of understand it for writing essays. I feel like that would be easier than just, like, she just says, I'm studying. Like, how are you focused on anything?
Yeah.
Like, the girlies are, like, trying to do tequila shots next to you. They're gonna get lemon juice all over your Quizlet.
So while she's studying, she's kind of side-eyeing this, there's a guy and another girl, and the girl, she's checking her out. But the guy ends up coming over to her, hits on her, and she turns him down. She's like, oh, I'm just studying. Leave me alone. It's like, cool. The next scene, she's walking home from the bar and is being followed. She has this, well, someone is following her, but she gets a weird feeling about it. Does the classic thriller horror movie, look over the shoulder. Oh, it's so scary. And as she turns a corner, there's a man standing at the end of the sidewalk. Which freaks her out. She gets jump scared by everything in this movie, by the way. There's so many just fake, I don't know if they're supposed to be scary for the audience, but Anna gets scared by people calling her name. I counted how many times she jumps and gasps in the movie. 8 times. That's too many times. For nothing happening, by the way.
Is this a horror movie?
I think they were intending it to be a thriller.
And just, like, kind of flopped?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, no.
So, while she's having this standoff, the guy is standing probably 20 feet in front of her, which I guess they're implying that she needs to walk that way, but she could have just, like, gone back the way she came and waited for him to leave, called someone, but instead she's just frozen. And then the person that comes to her rescue is the girl that was checking her out at the bar. So cute.
Ooh,
She's a tough girl. She has a pink highlight clipped into her hair. And she yells at the guy to, like, go away. And then she's like, I'll walk you home. You know, let's buddy up.
Girls girls.
So by the time they get back to Anna's apartment, it's revealed that she was studying at the bar because her roommate plays the tuba. So her roommate is practicing tuba, and she's like, that's why I was studying at the bar. Which is, I feel like that's less distracting than a bar.
Like, I mean, I guess, did they specify if it's good or bad tuba?
They based on, I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to get across. It sounded like fine tuba to me.
Oh, we do get to hear the tuba, though?
We do get to hear the tuba. Yeah, they, like, come around the corner, they get close to her apartment, and you can, like, hear the tuba playing. And
okay.
She's like, that's why I was studying at the bar.
I just think it's funny, like, the visual of somebody, like, you know, like, classic, like, American university dorms, like, 2, like, twin beds on either side of the room. One of the roommates, like, on their bed with a textbook open and a highlighter, and then just the other roommate on their bed.
It's a very Disney Channel scene.
Really Disney Channel.
So this, I never introduced this character. This tough girl lesbian character, her name's Monica. Okay. So Monica tells her, I wasn't hitting on you at the bar, by the way. And Anna's like, I didn't think you were. And then Monica says, you're a terrible liar. So it's like a little overt that they're into each other, but that's really all we get in terms of dialogue. That they might be interested in each other. And then Monica asks for Anna's number. For some reason, because she's not hitting on her. But they exchange numbers. They leave, go their separate ways. When Anna gets to her door, she finds a creepy stalker letter.
Oh no.
There's a black envelope, and the card inside has red block letters. It says, I'm always watching. We're to assume that this is her first run-in with a stalker. So it's not like it was an ongoing thing. This was the first incident that happened. I'm always watching. So the next day...
watching Wazowski.
Yes. The next day at school, Anna shares the letter with her new cool lesbian friend.
I mean, I would trust my cool lesbian friend with information that I was being harassed. I would tell her.
I mean, she already saved you out of one jam, I guess.
I think it's just interesting to me because Anna's from Scotland. She's a foreign exchange student, and she does have a roommate. I guess we don't know. Well, no, we do know how long school's this semester has been in session because it's about to be spring break. So you just think that she'd have other friends?
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask, but I was going to wait a little bit. So we don't get any, like, we know she has a roommate, like you said, but we don't get any indication that she has anyone else besides the character she just met at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, she doesn't ever text anyone else or call anyone else, or it's literally like, I didn't have any friends until you, which I guess could happen, but it's interesting. Especially, I feel like for foreign exchange programs, especially in college, they have like, you're set up with other foreign exchange students so that you have kind of a community and you're not just by yourself in a foreign country. But
Yeah.
Okay, I was
whatever.
about to ask, is it just like called foreign exchange like in the US? Because what I'm thinking of, like up here at least, we refer to like, you know, students from other countries as international students. Are those
That
the same
sounds
things?
better, but well,
I think also
I
like
haven't heard of like exchange programs like a whole lot. I usually just hear about them in like film or TV. Like, oh, I'm the foreign exchange student. It's what he says.
it's funny you mentioned that because, like, for me growing up, the implication was that there was going to be an exchange.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know if it's just that, like, there weren't any kids that signed up to be exchanged. Because, like, I think there was at least, like, one kid who was living with a family. He was exchanged, but no one went there that I heard about.
I think in college especially, exchange programs or whatever are mostly just, they're like referred to as studying abroad.
Yeah. I just find it funny that like it's never like I'm studying abroad or I'm an international student in like movies. It's always I'm a foreign exchange student.
Yeah. It does seem kind of like an antiquated term.
Yeah.
Yeah, international does just make more sense. Like, but I'm mostly just kind of hung up on the whole fact that no one was exchanged.
Yeah.
This is not a fair trade.
Also, like, okay, I'm kind of maybe gonna go off on a tangent. The stereotype of like foreign exchange student, like my first go-to is like Fez from 70 shows. Like, why were they always like such creeps, like in whatever they were? Like, what was his name in 16 Candles? Like, that was that was terrible in 16 Candles. Why did every foreign exchange student have to be such a creep? That's not.
I think it's a little
do.
it's just like xenophobia.
It's definitely
popping its head out,
xenophobic.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's weird too, because like too much of like mainstream media is just like made in America. So like even when people go, like I watched this Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen movie. I think I might have ranted to you guys about it before. I saw it like years ago maybe at this point. But it was, I don't remember what it's called, but they go to Paris and just like crap all over the country for like the whole movie. It ends up being, okay, really take this in, like, spoiler alert for some movie I don't even know the name
That
of.
came out in like 2000 probably.
Or like
Yeah.
the 90s even.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say it was during the Two of a Kind days, so I want to say it was the 2000s. But
Okay.
get this. It's Paris. They're in Paris because their grandpapa is like an ambassador or something. But, like, screw you, Pops. Turns out you needed two, like, 12, 13-year-old girls to tell all of France how to fix their bad water, apparently. And I was like, wait, what? Because I know, like, America does not have that great tasting water. But yeah, it's like not a big deal until the movie decides it's like this huge deal, and then they just like, oh yes, if you just do this, then you'll have great drinking water for the
What the
whole
heck?
country of France.
What a strange plot.
Oh yeah, also they spent so much time dumping on the food because like there's this chef,
Of course
and
they do.
Okay, of
And-
all places to
I
like,
know.
the food's yucky, like
It's not
French
England.
cuisine, which is known for being like pretty delicious.
It's weird too because like if you think about like food, if you think about anything that's food, it's all like you can make anything basically sound gross.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, it's not just this movie. I've seen it so many times. Ugh, snails? It's like, have you tried it? If you don't
wasn't that
don't
that was
try
like
it.
that was a D'Amelio scandal, right?
Yes, actually, yeah. We don't talk about Charlie D'Amelio like that.
That's what he was talking about.
Someone brought up the snails.
He was like, don't talk about her like that. Snakes are gross. They're yucky. They live in the garden.
Okay.
Okay.
So back to her being a foreign exchange or whatever.
So she shares the letter with Monica. Monica, instead of like, we need to tell the police or like the college something, she's just like, oh, move in with me, because then he won't know where you live.
Because I'm a lesbian. And this is the next step.
So Anna is hesitant, obviously. She's like, I just met you, and also I can't pay rent, and also, like, it's, you know. And so Monica convinces her because she's like, well, my parents pay my rent, and so rent will be free for you, and I'll just tell my parents that you're really wholesome and you're saving yourself for marriage.
What the?
Those were her exact words. and she was like, all right, fine. And then we get a montage. There's three montages in this movie, and they're all super gay. And this is the first one of their first night in the same house together. The things that make it queer. They cook dinner together. It's super cute. They play chess, which doesn't sound gay, but they're sitting on the same side of the chessboard. So you know how in chess, normally you sit behind your pieces, facing your opponent? They're both sitting to the side of their pieces, so like perpendicular.
So, like, on one hand, I can understand, like, it's not good. Like, especially if it's not supposed to be gay. But, like, I get if they're, like, just doing that quick thing. Like, we'll just have you guys sit next to each other so we don't have to do, like, blocking, like, change.
Yeah, so we don't have to change the camera
right.
angle.
So I know that, but, like, oh, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so, like, I get that, but that's still stupid. But, like, if you're playing chess, I'm not gonna be, like, right next to you. Unless I want to, like, have our arms brush against each other anytime we move any piece.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a grandmaster of chess, because I don't know the first thing about this game. I don't think that's a good strategy, like, sitting on the opposite end of the board. I feel like that would not work.
The same side as your opponent.
Yeah. Like, oh, don't let them know you're next to move.
You're, like, looking at your pieces sideways. All of you, instead of moving your pieces forward, they're all moving
I'm trying to picture this, and I'm really struggling to see how this even would work in the real world.
I mean, it just wouldn't. I guess is the answer.
Like, oh my god.
And it's not like it's a blocking thing. They are trying to do something like, oh, they're getting along really well, because later
playing chess, they might kiss.
There's at least 2 other scenes where they play chess and they're across from each other like normal people. So
maybe they were like, oh, she's teaching her how to play chess.
No, because the dialogue is one of I can't remember who says it, but I think it's Monica says it to Hannah. I love that you know how to play chess.
Okay, well, they could have just made this whole scene make sense if, like, oh, I've never played chess before.
Yeah.
Oh, here, I'll teach you. Oh, watch me play myself. And, like, they did it like that. Like, that would be, you know...
Yeah.
Writing is hard. Writing is difficult.
I mean,
it's hard to use your brain.
If this is where we're like, oh man, it's too hard. Like, they need to just stop making a movie.
We haven't even gotten to the conflict yet.
Yeah, and we are having inconsistencies with a chess game that's not part of the plot.
It's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Then it's time to pack it up early.
So the final scene in this gay montage is that they're brushing their teeth, getting ready for bed, shoulder to shoulder.
Ooh.
Like you do with your roommate that you met 2 days ago. So the next scene is they are it's also very gay. We haven't gotten to the spooky parts yet, just the stalker, I guess, but it gets even more spooky. Ooh. So they're laying in twin beds, so they're in separate beds, facing each other. But the way it's shot is how you would shoot a couple in the same bed facing each other. So it's just like a close-up on Anna's face and then a close-up on Monica's face each time they're talking. And then they do like a wide establishing shot, and it's like, oh, they're in separate beds.
They're in separate beds because we're keeping Jesus at the core of our relationship.
Okay, so like
We have to keep Christ between us because one of us is saving herself for marriage because I'm wholesome.
okay, by doing that, by keeping them like straight, would the story change in any way if they were gay?
Okay,
or it's just like
yes, and here's why. We're starting to get into why it's actually more creepy that they are insinuating that like they might be into each other. So they're in these twin beds, and Anna is like, why do you have 2 beds if it's just you? And Monica tells her, these were my these beds belonged to me and my sister when we were growing up, and I just couldn't stand to get rid of her bed because she's dead now, and I couldn't stand to get rid of it. You're the first person I've let sleep in her bed. You look like her, is what Monica tells Anna.
Okay, well, it started out sweet, and then it was like, okay, like, this is still sweet, but, like, we're moving a little bit fast. You look just like her. I think I would go home. I think I would go back to Scotland. Like, you know what? Put me on the next flight to Edinburgh. I can't do this. I need to go home.
yeah, like. And how does she take that?
She says, I'll take that as a compliment.
No.
And
really?
then they just move on to talking about Anna's tragic backstory that really doesn't have that much to do with the plot at all, other than it seems like the only way she bonds with characters in this movie is to talk about her backstory, which is just like her mom's an addict.
I'm not going to advocate for trauma dumping when you first meet somebody.
She does it twice in this movie. I'm like, is that the only way you know how to bond with someone?
I think we have like a bad attachment style. I think we need some therapy.
Yeah. Yeah, so then they go to bed. Good. That's it. So she keeps on receiving the creepy letters, and also now she's getting texts from an unknown number. So she's at school and she gets a text that's like, your ponytail looks nice today, and she's like, oh, looking around, I don't know who's and I also love that it doesn't have the phone number, like an unknown number, someone who's on in your contacts would show up as that. It just says unknown.
Do we have any suspects?
Well, in this scene, there's like a guy that's looking at her very strangely and like walking towards her, and she's getting all tense, and he just walks right past her and hugs this girl behind her. I'm like, why would your stalker be like, I love your ponytail, can you see me? And then just walk right up to you.
I feel like that defeats the whole purpose of stalking.
But then she gets jump scared by the guy that she met at the bar. His name's Kevin. He walks up to her, and she gets jump scared by him a little bit, and they talk a little bit on her way home from school. And as soon as she gets home, she finds a letter at her door. Inside this one is a picture of her with a red heart that looks like it's like finger paint. Which they somehow come to the conclusion that it's blood, but honestly, it doesn't look like blood.
I was gonna say, I was like, oh, it's blood.
What?
Oh no.
Okay. Like, that'd be creepy if it was like a heart of blood. But like,
Yeah.
what's the thought? You pricked your finger and then
I know.
see the blood,
Oh my god,
or
a paper cut. Ouchie.
Ouchie.
oh, perfect. Now my Valentine is complete.
Yes, now it's personalized.
So
I'm gonna put a warm
Yeah.
$5 on the idea that Anna is the stalker.
that Monica is the
Well-
stalker.
Sorry, what's the name of the lesbian?
Monica.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both
$5
lesbians.
that Monica's the
They just
stalker.
They
don't
are.
understand
Yeah.
that they're both lesbians.
We'll come back in 40 minutes to see if I was correct.
So yes, Anna mentions to Monica that it might be Kevin, and Monica and Kevin were at the bar that night, so it's assumed that they're friends. And Monica's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's Kevin. I don't think he could do that or whatever." She does
Does she give a reason,
suggest,
or she's just like, nah, he's just not that kind of guy.
yeah. And there's some, I wish I had written it down because I don't remember exactly how the dialogue went, but Anna goes like, "I think it might be Kevin," and Monica's like, "I don't think he's capable of that." And then Anna says something like, "I think he is," like, saying that she thinks he's capable, but she says it in a way that's kind of like in admiration almost. And Monica goes, "Wait, I'm confused. Are you scared of him, or do you want to date him?" Like, she gets super defensive right away, which is another like, "Oh, I think you're just jealous."
A red flag.
Wait. So the girl who's getting stalked is like, he's really good at being a stalker, or
She said, well, because, gosh, I should have written it down. Monica says, like, he wouldn't do that, or like, I don't think he is, something about maybe like, I don't think he's like smart enough to do that, or something like that. And then Anna's like, "I think he's pretty smart."
oh, wait,
So it was like a compliment, but also like, but it still might be Kevin kind of thing. So then
Okay.
Monica's like, "Do you want to date him, or are you scared of him?"
If you think he's so smart, why don't you marry him?
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Monica does suggest going to the police this time, but then Anna's like, "Could they do anything?" And she goes, "Probably not, but we have to try something."
I mean, she's not wrong.
And then instead of doing that,
That is kind of what happens. Like, "Hello, police. I seem to be being harassed by this person." Well, have they done anything that physically hurts you? Well, no, not yet. I expect that they're going to. Oh, we can't really help you out then because nothing's happened.
yep.
I mean, that is such I think every show I've watched where someone goes to the police, like, nothing I can't remember a show where someone went to the police before things got too far that it worked out.
Yeah,
Like,
for a while, my biggest critique of Pretty Little Liars was like, they should have just gone to the police and like told them everything. And first of all, the police in Rosewood were so corrupt anyway, so like it wouldn't have mattered. But also, like, they would have been like, you're just getting texts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so block them.
yeah, there was literal Degrassi. I think we covered this, but at one point Maya's getting cyberbullied
Yeah.
for her
Gets
feminism or whatever.
swatted at one point.
Yeah, she gets swatted. Before she gets swatted, though, her mom and her go to the police station to be like, "We're getting all these horrific messages," and they were really vile. I was actually like surprised they put it on Degrassi, but I guess it was on Netflix at this point. But
Yeah,
it was
so
like
it was a
just talking about
free-for-all.
all the criminal things they wanted to do to her minor body.
Jeez.
And it was just like, it was real, like, it was rough. And they're reading this to the cops, and he's like, "Well, we can try to have someone, like, patrol outside your neighborhood, but, like, you know, if they, like, basically, like, we'll zip you up in your body bag and then investigate then." But, like,
I think the only show I've ever seen where it was like, I'm being stalked and harassed, please help me out. And then like they're actually proceeded to get help was Criminal Minds. And I know Bob hates Criminal Minds, but the one thing that that show has done correctly was they took that one particular case seriously. Because the lady was like, JJ, I'm gonna need you to contact these following people when this man inevitably kills me. And then JJ was like, all right, let's get the gang together, we got a case.
I guess that was one thing too. Like, that is one thing that, like, I do. Well, I guess that's the other thing too. But even in Criminal Minds, it still doesn't like help the whole thing, because most of the time that they did stuff like that, they then got reprimanded by their higher ups. Like, you can't just go helping people, guys. We have
who do you think you are?
The FBI?
A community servant?
Wait. Oh, we are? Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
Well, I don't want to help.
So back
she
to
says,
this. They
call
got
police.
right.
Yes. So, instead of doing that, instead of just trying something like they should have done, let anybody know, really, they decide to leave early for spring break and go to Monica's family home with her, which is in a small town called Fallbrook. And the idea was that they would get away for a while. The stalker wouldn't know where they were, her specifically. And then if they come back and the letters continue, then they can go to the police, which is terrible.
Okay.
I mean, that's not really like a solution. I guess it's more like just taking a break from being stalked, which
That's
I guess
like
is fine.
It's like when schools are like, just ignore it when students are getting bullied.
If you were in Anna's shoes, would you guys take Monica up on this offer?
Well, first of all, okay, it's hard to know Anna's motivations, really, because she moved in with this girl that she had known for like 2 days. So, like, if I were in her situation, I wouldn't have moved in with her, and I wouldn't be like, yeah, I've known you for like a week, but I'll come meet your whole family in a small town.
It's fair.
Yeah, away from everybody I know.
But
she doesn't know anybody but a tuba player. That's gonna be like nothing for her.
But if I had the same motivations as Anna and like I was in this situation, I would want to tell the police first and then go. And then if I came back and it was still happening, then you would have more evidence to show to the police.
Yeah,
because that's the other thing. That's the other thing that's like a catch-22 is the police don't do anything until like something goes too far. But then when it does go too far and you want to like press legal charges or like whatever, they're like, well, you didn't say anything before it got to this point.
Why
and
didn't
it's
you
like,
do anything before then? Well,
because nobody would help me.
Fucking helping me. You useless, stupid people.
Everything is broken.
Do you think, like, I agree, you know, ACAP, all that, yes. But, like, but for the movie, do you feel like if they had gone to the police now and then gone to Fallbrook, it would have, like, maybe even set up some nice, like, foreshadowing before things get too spooky? Like, because someone would, like, know that Anna exists? Or, like, it would have just been, like, a filler scene that didn't do anything.
I think it would have been filler. They really... I mean, they do a little bit of foreshadowing. We're about to get a foreshadowing line here in a second. But aside from that, they don't know how to... They only know how to set things up like that if it's on the antagonist side. They don't really know how to set things up for the protagonist.
Gotcha.
So, Anna agrees, surprisingly, and she asks if Monica's parents are going to mind. And Monica says, they won't want you to leave. Spooky.
I would not
That's
go
foreshadowing.
home with her. I would not go home with her.
She has her arms up in the air, fingers wiggling.
Yeah. Woo.
Ooh.
I
So
would be on the phone with like fucking Delta. Like, I need a plane now. I have to leave this place.
Going back home is a way to get your get rid of
Yeah.
your stalker.
I'll just go across the world. You can't find me there.
but she doesn't want to go back to her addict mother, I guess.
Is her mother like abusive or just
Going through it.
Neglectful, I think, was
Okay.
the implication. Because
okay?
I think she specifically said, like, she had to, like, clean up after her mother when she was growing up. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like she doesn't, you know, if she doesn't want to, she doesn't know her mom anything. But if like you could still like live in the country,
Yeah.
like somewhere in the whole country, maybe.
I mean, she was planning on going back. She's like over here on on a program, if we want to call it
Okay, yeah.
exchange or studying abroad. So she was planning on going back. It's not like she had like a green card here or anything, other than like for college.
I guess that's worth. Like, I guess I could see writing out the program at least.
Yeah.
Even with the stalker, but I don't know. I've never had a real stalker, so I don't know how.
Especially one you would think you would feel differently if it was one that was like had your phone number, like a random person that you didn't know. Because some frequently stalkers are like people who you know. So
Or have met like at least once.
or have met, yeah, exactly. But like having no idea who this person is at all, and they have your phone number and know where you live and know where you moved. Like, why do you think they wouldn't find out that you were in Fallbrook? You know,
Yeah.
they've already tracked you moving once. So
Yeah.
the next, we get to the next montage. Also very gay. All the montages are gay. I think I said that already. It's the car ride to Fallbrook, and it's very the music sounds like it's royalty free. And yeah, pretty much that. And the whole thing is just them like smiling at each other and like dancing a little bit. And there's like it's like the golden hour or whatever. There's like some nice golden light coming through the car window. That's the whole thing. We really didn't need it at all. There was no character development or than to show like, oh, she's having a good time. She's not worrying about her stalker, I guess. When they get
that I like remembered pretty recently is because I rewatched Endless Love again, and I
Oh no, that I'm like,
so I rewatched it a little while ago, and I realized how often they utilize montages in that movie, and I think the only reason I can think of like why that happens is because like either like one, the writers didn't like want to sit down and like write the characters like talking to each other and like, you know, building up like a chemistry together and like whatever the case may be, or the actors just had zero chemistry and they like couldn't genuinely portray like, oh, like I care about you so much and I love you. They're just like, oh fuck it, just like mute, put some music over it, send them to a cafe, just get the scene done.
yeah, it's like I like one montage. I like a good
Like a training montage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
training, makeover,
Makeovers,
remodel. Yeah, I'm a sucker for a good montage. But like Lifetime movies and like whatever you want to call Endless Love, those kind of movies they use montages like for plot and character development, and it's
Yeah.
like no, because like a montage is one sentence. they started to get along. Like, that's all a montage
A
tells
montage should be
anybody.
used to demonstrate the passage of time
Yeah.
and not the development of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I said it once and I'll say it again, just because we're like, whatever Endless Love was a gross misinterpretation of its original source material.
So, getting back to this one.
Yeah.
Right, yes, right.
After the pointless montage, they arrive, and the parents come out to greet them. The dad is super creepy. It's established right before they leave that her parents are conservative, and the way they establish that is by having her walk out in an outfit that just looks like an outfit that either character would wear. And she goes, "My parents are kind of conservative. I know I should..." Oh, what did she say? Did I write it down? Yes. I know I should just be myself around them. I'm like, I don't think this is about the clothes you wear. I really feel like there's subtext here.
Do they know you're a lesbian? Or do they not know you're a lesbian?
And, like, so she's got, like, a pink clip in her hair, and what was she? Because she was wearing, like, kind of goth clothes.
It was
or
like,
whatever.
yeah, or like punk, like,
Yeah.
she had chains, and like black. And so the conservative clothes honestly looked like something Anna would wear. They were like skinny, green skinny jeans, like olive green, and then like a flannel.
See, the parents saw the flannel and they're like, lesbian.
That makes me think of the outfit from Elena and Della.
Yes, exactly.
They just decided, like, what's the gayest outfit we've ever heard of in our life? That is what
very,
she
like,
shall
feminine
wear.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, dad is like, I guess stereotypically conservative, where he's like, "Oh, Scotland has good family values. We could learn a thing or two. Well, I like the country more than the city." And he keeps doing this weird thing where he's asking the girls, like, he asks Monica, "Are you still my good girl?"
Ugh.
And then he's like, "I bet Anna's a good girl." He says good girl so much in this movie.
I would
And
go home.
it's definitely intentional because it comes up in a different way, like in the movie, and it's uncomfortable even though it was intentional, and I don't think they meant for it to be as uncomfortable as it is.
Everyone, sorry to do this to you. I want you to imagine your partner's parents.
Okay.
Now imagine them repeating that phrase to you.
Or to your partner.
Yeah, I feel unwell thinking of that.
Yeah.
That's
love Anna's
exactly
dad,
how
but
I felt
would,
hearing
I would
it.
go home. I would go
There's-
home.
You know, because, like, especially, it really depends on the content. Because, like, I could see sometimes where good girl isn't necessarily, like, super creepy. If it's, like, if someone's like, "I don't want to go out with Veronica. She stinks. Oh, hush. She's a good girl. You could be friends with her." Or something like that. Like, but Veronica's not there, and you're not saying, "Veronica, you good girl." Kind of, you know, that, I feel like if you're just describing some other person as a good girl, I don't think it's the worst thing. But that's weird. Is it?
I think I'm just too much of a degen to, like, hear that phrase and not immediately think of something gross.
Yeah.
I think my brain is just, like, too rotted to see this as an innocent phrase.
Well, I guess the thing, because, like, I think my issue with this isn't so much, I can see the issues with it, but it's not so much just that he's calling her a good girl, but it's like, "Hello, daughter who's just returned to me and friend I've just met.
Yeah.
It is important to me that you both are very good girls." Like, I don't know.
I don't know anything about this dad character, and he makes me uncomfortable. I need a shower
Well,
after hearing him say this.
well, I mean, I guess spoiler alert, but he is like one of the villains, so it's,
Of course.
you know, he's not supposed to be likable. I don't think even at the beginning he's supposed to be likable.
I think we're supposed to be like, I feel itchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, what is the vibe right now? Like, are we supposed to be thinking like, man, it's Anna and Monica against the world? Are we supposed to be like, Anna, you've made a bad error in judgment agreeing to this trip?
The vibe I'm getting is Get Out.
I think we're supposed to not be suspicious of Monica at all at this point. And yeah, I don't really know. It still kind of feels like setup for the movie. So I think that it's just like, all right, let's see where this goes kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is called Deadly Switch, which I feel like is a little bit of a giveaway because immediately everyone starts talking about how much Anna looks like Monica's sister. Monica's sister's name is Camilla. So immediately, mom and dad are like, "Oh, you look exactly like Camilla. Oh my gosh, you look just like her. It's amazing. I'm stunned."
Huh.
And Anna finally,
need to go home.
when she goes into the house, there's like this spooky for no reason. It's like she's slowly looking at all the family pictures, and she doesn't even really look like Camilla. They just both have red hair. They don't even have the same color eyes.
It's just like, oh, Ginger.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
her.
So Anna is sleeping in Camilla's room, and while she's getting settled, the mom comes in and says, "Oh, everything is exactly the same in here as it was on that day," which is, I would be like, I don't want to sleep in here anymore.
I don't want to stay in this house.
And Anna even asks, "Oh, I can stay in Monica's room if you want," which, you know, we all know that's what they wanted all along.
Yeah.
And her mom was
they're
like,
gay.
"No, it's fine. Make yourself at home."
You live here now. You can't leave.
So while she's asleep, she hears Monica's voice over a walkie-talkie, and she finds a walkie-talkie under the pillow. It's very gay. They talk to each other over the walkie-talkies. And
Okay, that's kind of cute.
yeah.
Like, okay, maybe this movie isn't garbage.
I don't. It's so weird. Lifetime got so. That's like a thing they do. Like Car in the Corner. I think Yell and I have talked about at least 2 of our faux yay movies where, like, there's just like. I get this one. I feel like though this one is worse because it's like they should just be gay. That would just sort of make more sense for all this. But there's other ones where they'll be like an evil woman and like a good woman and, you know, whatever. There's lots of like weird misogyny laced within Lifetime that you would think there wouldn't be, but there is. But there'll always
It's all
be
written
like
by moms who have like internalized misogyny
Yeah.
that they haven't dealt with yet.
and don't realize that they're actually
Yeah.
lesbians because they'll be like there'll be like this bond between like like 2 women where it's like, okay, I mean,
They're best
love
friends.
like, glad you're gay, love that for you, hun, but like we got bigger fish to fry.
I want a Lifetime movie that's just like 2 suburban like housewives like falling in love with each other. Like they both realize, I'm like, oh my god, like I'm a cheerleader, but like without the conversion camp, and it's like in a cul-de-sac.
I mean, it's also so weird whenever there's like these like relationships because it's like these 2 girls who have like such good chemistry, they get along, we've seen them talk, you know, they've passed the Bechdel test and all
Yes.
that jazz, but like then, oh, but here's the man that I am with, smooch. And it's like, who is this guy? What's his name? What's his dream?
This is
Like,
man.
give me
he's here
one
to show you that I am
detail.
straight.
about this male love interest.
He's not the love interest, he's the beard at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they always are. Or it's like in some Lifetime movies, the woman's evil and a man is just a means to an end.
Yeah.
Because all heterosexual men are rendered powerless by one smooch.
By one hot lady.
But sometimes they catch wise, and then you gotta double down on the smooch, and then they're back to being
They're
utterly
all
defenseless.
yours. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Oh,
Oh,
my bad. I almost had a thought for a second there.
Oh my god, my brain almost worked.
For you.
That was a close
thank
one.
Thank goodness those neurons nearly missed each other.
So while they are engaged in admittedly cute walkie-talkie time, Anna thanks Monica for bringing her here. And we see Monica, and she like hesitates to say anything back, and she's looking like not forlorn, that's not the right word. Like she's regretting something. Oh no.
Oh no.
And
So,
then Anna's like,
This is just
are you
lesbian
there?
Get Out.
Yeah. Okay, they go to sleep. Cool. The next day, there's this. It opens with this like really. The scene is shot really weird because it's almost like another montage, but like it's just Anna, and she's taking a walk around the land. And the way it's shot makes it look like a commercial for skincare or like a pharmaceutical of some sort. Because it's that like lens flary morning light and like close-ups of her hand as she's slowly walking and brushing it against the flowers. You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah.
that vibe?
The editors messed up and accidentally inputted a Neutrogena ad in the movie. Like, oh shit, this is my other project. Oh no. I opened the wrong folder.
I feel like the only thing that would have made it extra would have been like if they had her like spinning around on a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, arms out.
Yeah.
Side effects of this product may contain lesbianism and Stockholm syndrome.
So while she's wandering around, a mysterious woman we've never seen before, she looks like a nice farmer lady, comes up to her and she's like, "What are you doing here? This is private property." Surprisingly, Anna is not jump scared by this one, even though the lady comes out of nowhere and is pretty gruff. But she's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm friends of the," I don't know, they named their last name like once. "I'm friends with the Robertsons. I'm sorry, I'll leave. I don't know, it's private property."
Is this lady pretty?
No, I mean, she... I was gonna sound mean. I'm sure the actress is very pretty, but she's made up to be kind of like frumpy.
Okay, because I was gonna say, well, that's why she didn't get scared, because it's just another lesbian for their guild.
Anna comes back, and the mom is cooking breakfast, and she tells her that she ran into a woman, and the mom says, "Oh, that's Zelda. She's a sad woman." And Anna's like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." And they move on. So Zelda is Greta's mother, and Greta is what was Camilla's best friend. She was in the car with Camilla in the accident that killed her, and they both died. And this is what Anna learns this from Monica, and Monica tells her about Greta. I quoted this. This is exactly what she says. "She burned to death. They never found the body. She must have wandered out into the snow and froze."
Wait, hold.
What?
She burnt to death,
Mm-hmm.
but she also froze to death in the snow.
Yes.
Like,
I think I'm having a stroke. So, you know, there's this phenomenon when you reach like deadly levels of hypothermia, you feel like your body is burning, like on fire.
Right.
And so you undress yourself because you think that you're burning and on fire, but really that's just your body like kind of shutting down. And
Yeah, it's your nerves dying.
yeah, your nerves are dying, and they're like, oh, hot, but you're cold. So that's why sometimes when people find like, oh, you froze to death while they're naked, I don't think that's what they were going for. I don't think. I don't
like,
think they were like, extreme hypothermia, because that's too smart
No.
for this movie.
and even if they were, they still didn't explain right.
They didn't do
Yeah.
it right, yeah.
They explained it completely wrong. What were
And
they
then-
trying to say? What the hell?
So we get another, like, spooky moment immediately after the scene. This scene is taking place outside. They're walking around, like, the front yard. They walk off camera, and as soon as they walk off camera, there's, like, a old country type swing where it's just, you know, the ropes and, like, a flat board. And as soon as they walk off camera, the swing starts moving slightly, as if to imply there's some, like, ghost or, you know, it's spooky, because they never
trying to
establish
be
that there's
nice.
wind.
This movie's trying really hard to be scary.
This is where it starts getting a little bit more scary, I guess. We're not quite to the third act quite yet, but
Would you call
And
this
at
movie a
this,
slow burn?
Like, at this point in the movie, are you still at the nail salon, or is this where you had to watch later on your own?
that's a great question. This was a while ago, so I don't remember.
Okay. Do you ever, like, talk to them about the movie while it's, like, on, or is it just kind of, like, just
No.
there for you?
No, yeah, not really. Sometimes, like, I have a specific nail tech that I go to. I've been going to her for years. And sometimes she'll, like, mention the movie to me and we'll talk a little bit about it, but I don't usually bring it up to them.
Okay.
So, but,
Cause
yeah.
I always like, cause sometimes like I'll get my hair done and like I went once and we were watching Falling in Love, which is a movie I do want to talk about on here at some point one day.
Great.
But it's just like no one will remember, so it's fine. But like the movie is so like real basic, you know, that deal like hard-working businesswoman has to slum it in a rural town and change her whole life. And it's like so boilerplate till this one scene happens. And I remember like she stopped doing my hair for me and was like, wait, why did that happen? And I had already seen the movie before she put it on, so I already knew this was coming. And I was like, okay, great. I'm glad that that's just the reaction to that scene happening. And I was wondering if there was any of that while you were there.
No, not really.
Okay.
Back to this terrible movie.
Unfortunately.
So Anna starts getting spammed with texts that all say, you can run, but you can't hide. So this is in the middle of the night. She gets up and goes out to the kitchen, and I guess she's getting a drink of water or something, but she's just staring out the window. She thinks she sees someone in the darkness, and the dad comes in behind her and says her name, and she gets jump scared again. Another gasp. And they talk about, oh, I thought I saw someone out there, whatever. And then the dad starts putting a lot of pressure on her by telling her that her being here is almost like having Camilla back with them, which is not an okay thing to say.
Not at all.
I think this is the beginning of like oh, when the audience is supposed to be like, oh, something is not right.
My thing is like, okay, like that's a weird boundary and like that's weird, but my thing is like, okay, like on one hand, I'm glad, like let's pretend they're not crazy for a second. So it's like on one hand, I'm glad that like we're establishing a relationship, like, I guess you see me as like a family friend, not just your daughter's friend that's here. That's nice. But like when people say like you're like filling the void, it's like that's rude to the person that died, isn't it? Like they're so replaceable. This chick I don't know my daughter brought was fine.
Yeah.
Like
it's rude just like all the way around. You can't say that.
Yeah, like it's uncomfortable for that. It's so weird like when people say that. I guess I've never actually seen anyone say something like that in real life.
Hopefully
so
people don't.
My brain hurts so much.
Anna is visibly weirded out by that. But then they both just go to bed, and we go to the next day, and Anna and Monica get to go into town.
Oh, for another montage?
For another montage, yes.
Yay.
The third and
love
final
those.
montage.
Oh no. Is it gonna get bleak from here on out?
Yeah, this is kind of the beginning of the end.
Oh no!
They just have a fun time in this quaint little town. Towards the end of at the end of the montage, Anna is getting coffee for them at a coffee shop, and the barista also says she looks like Camilla, which, like, stop. We get it. She looks like Camilla, even though she doesn't. Movie's just gaslighting us.
I just googled these actresses. They look absolutely nothing alike.
Yes.
They don't even have the same like shade of red hair. So.
No, they don't.
Like Anna's actor is more like auburn, and then Camilla's actress is like full ginge.
It's like weird too, because this is like a movie of like a bunch of white people saying that all white people look the same.
Yep, that is true.
But so like at this point, but like when this barista or whatever, so Anna's alone for this conversation, or
yes,
she's with,
because it's important that she's alone for this scene, because the barista immediately starts gossiping about this deceased girl and her family, and she says, oh, like there was weird circumstances around that. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, people say she was trying to run away when the accident happened. But,
whoa.
They're just rumors. Whatever. And Anna's like, interesting. Weird. Okay, I'll just go back to my lesbian now.
Okay, great.
Lesbian.
Oh
And-
my gosh.
As she's walking out, she meets the sheriff, who is Monica's dad's best friend. And he's like, oh, it's Tuesday, so I'll be over later tonight for dinner. And Monica makes some comment about, see, we even have the police on our side, about like her stalker.
Yay.
No one's gonna hurt you in Fallbrook. Interesting. So as they're putting their groceries in the car, and Kevin appears and is already walking up to them and speaking and says, here, Monica, let me help you with that. And after he completes his sentence, Anna gets scared. It goes,
Of course.
Oh my gosh, Anna Banana.
and then she's freaked out. She's like, whoa, Kevin is also from Fallbrook? That's so weird. Why is he in this? Why is he here? And Monica tells her that it's his hometown too. Which, that's I mean, I guess it makes sense if they're friends, but like, what a coincidence that these two people came into your life at the same time.
Yeah, wait, I forget. Did you say if, since she's been in Fallbrook, if any nonsense with the stalkers happened, or she's been in the clear
Yes.
so far?
So she, just the previous night, has gotten texts that say you can run but you can't hide.
See, my thing is, like, I mean, I don't know if she has a means to really leave.
Yeah,
on her
so...
own. Like, I don't...
Yeah, so Monica drove her here.
Ah. Okay. And, like,
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, I don't know how accessible an Uber's gonna be. But, like, my thing is, okay, this guy hit on you, and you weren't into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a letter on your door. You move in with this girl you just met in hopes of getting away. And then there's another letter. You go to some random town in the middle of nowhere. And he's still there. Like, has she told him, like, I think you're my stalker? And he's like, I totally get why you think that, but I'm not your stalker.
She hasn't talked to him at all. Like, she refuses to talk to him. Even when, before they had decided to come to Fallbrook, when he talked to her on the way home from school, she was kind of, like, dismissive of him. So she just doesn't talk to him at all.
I mean, that's fair. It does seem like he's the stalker.
Well, okay. So to that point, Anna is like, Monica, don't you think he's being weird? And Monica says, well, I don't know if he wants anyone to know about this, but his mom is sick. And Anna immediately dismisses him as a stalker and is like, oh, I was so rude to him. Oh, it makes so much sense. I feel terrible.
Wait,
Sorry,
no,
maybe
I'm sorry.
Too much Criminal Minds. But like, oh, his mom is sick. That's the initial stressor. He's still on the suspect list.
Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. I'm glad you broke out your Criminal Minds profile. Yeah, that was helpful. But yeah, like, I'm sorry. Every time I turn around, there's this guy. Every time I bump into him, my stalker approaches me very soon after. That just does not feel like a coincidence.
The
like,
math
honestly,
ain't
Monica,
mathin'.
if I didn't know you so well 3 montages later, I would think it was either you or him. But since we had 3 montages, it's gotta be him. And she's just like, oh no, couldn't be. His mom's sick. Oh,
all right.
well, that
Yep.
explains
That
it.
explains why he keeps showing up in my life.
Why don't you go with your mom, guy?
Make it make sense. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. I'm very frustrated.
Be prepared to get more frustrated.
Oh no.
Great.
Later that night, Monica leaves to hang out with a guy and asks Anna to cover for her because her dad is crazy.
Right.
Oh, this is pretty terrible. Initially, she says, tell him I'm hanging out with a friend. Wait, no. Tell him I've been thinking about Camilla a lot and just needed to clear my head. I'm like,
You
okay, that
cannot.
is not okay. That's really manipulative.
Like, I
Let
don't
me use
really.
my dead sister as a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, that's, again, I don't understand. Like, it seems like this whole town is obsessed with Camilla and grieving her and not over the loss of her. At the same time, they, like, might as well just take dumps on her grave with the way they just use her. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go out on a date, but I'm grieving my sister.
Oh, I can't go on this date. Oh, I'm so sad about my dead sister. Oh.
While she is on her date, Anna calls Kevin to apologize for being rude. And the dad comes in while she's on the phone. She's like, I'm on the phone. And he just keeps standing there. And so she's like, okay, I guess I'm going to call you back, Kevin. This guy won't leave the room. He proceeds to be just a huge creep and keeps asking if she's a good girl. And she's like, yeah, I guess. And then he goes on to say that it's so much harder for girls in the world because they have to be so careful, especially around boys.
I feel itchy. I don't want to victim blame, but like, girl, why are you still here?
Well, she doesn't have a means to leave, really.
I would start walking. Put your running shoes on, girly. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see, like, because on one hand, it does seem like she's sort of at least aware that something's amiss. Like,
Yeah.
she's not. So I guess that's a little good, but I feel like. On one hand, it seems like it's believable that she doesn't have anywhere else. Like, she can't just leave.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she should, like, I would like to see some, like, planned and failed arrangements.
Right.
You know? Like,
Something.
Like,
Yeah.
she gets on the landline and tries to call a taxi to get out, and then just, like, dial tone. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Ooh, I cut the power cord. Aha, now you're stuck here. Like, give me something. I don't want her to just passively exist in this threatening location.
Yeah, we replaced all the windows with rubber.
Ah. They Home Alone trap the house so she can't leave.
Home Alone to keep someone inside the house. That's great. So Anna goes, she's like, that was weird. I am gonna go help.
It's a little more than weird, Anna.
I'm gonna go help the mom in the kitchen with dinner. She walks in and asks if she needs any help. The mom is holding a knife and starts slowly walking towards her and is out of it and saying, Camilla, you're home. Where have you been? Your mother's been worried. And then when she gets like right up on her, she comes to her senses and drops the knife and is disoriented, and she says, oh, it's these pills that Peter gives me. They just make me so confused.
So,
ooh, things are getting spooky.
If you thought that this young woman in your house is your dead daughter, and you're like, oh, I'm so happy to see you, even if you're like disoriented and like kind of out of it, why are you approaching her with a knife?
Yeah, I didn't really get that.
Like,
I think it was just
way.
like to be spooky.
Oh, she's mentally ill.
Mental illness is spooky.
Ooh. Oh, no.
So the mom gets ushered out by the dad, Peter, and Anna they ask Anna to cook the dinner for them. And she's like, oh, sure, I can do that. And they're like, I mean, it's okay if, like, you don't want to. And she's like, no, it's no trouble. I love to cook. Like, girl, don't.
Oh, there's a spider on my desk. Excuse you.
Spooky.
Oh, why are you here? Oh, spooky. Get out of here. Go away. You don't live here. You're not my roommate. I don't even know where you went. Get out of here.
Maybe the spider did a deadly switch.
Yeah.
It's your roommate now.
Yeah.
I lost my place.
Oh,
okay.
I love cooking. I'll make the dinner for you creeps.
So Anna calls Kevin to talk about Monica's family. And she's like, they're like, what do you know about her family? And he's like, oh, I don't really know them. And I didn't really talk to Monica until college. Which is that just can't be true. Because they live in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I cannot...
And, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, from so far from what you told us, like, this whole town knows Camilla.
Exactly. And I just... yeah, I just can't suspend my disbelief to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense that he possibly didn't talk to her until college and you didn't know her family. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, unless he said something like, honestly, my family was considered the losers and nobody talked to us, kind of thing. Like, you need like more.
Yeah. Who am I talking about? Anna says, well, they're being really weird, and it's almost like they actually think that she's Camilla. And so Kevin, in response to this, says, you can come stay at my house if you want. You'll be sleeping in a separate bed, of course. And I'm like, why does everybody in her life, their immediate response to any potentially dangerous situation is, you can come live with me?
Yeah, I was about to say that too, because, like, on one hand, I think it's wonderful to offer people a safe space, but I'm trying to think of, like, an alternative, because, like, she just ran away with people, and that went south so fast, so I don't think she's, like, really that eager for a new roomie.
Like, you need to protect your own boundaries. Like, again, I understand you're like, oh, this person's, like, kind of in a pinch, I want to help them out. You gotta, like, self-preservation is a great skill to have. So if you don't really know this person, there's other means of supporting them, like get them a hotel room, or like, I don't know, give them some food, like something, or create a safety plan. There's different ways to help people out. We shouldn't always.
You do not have to invite them into your home.
You do not need to let strangers into your home.
Well, luckily for Anna, this time she does not choose that route, and instead she just says, I have to go make dinner, which is crazy that she's still going to make dinner for them. I guess if you feel threatened,
crazy people.
Yeah.
Did they have like a request, or is she just like gonna look at what they have? And...
I think so. The mother was in the middle of prepping for dinner, or like cooking dinner, and when after she had her episode, she was like, the meat is in the refrigerator. I was going to make a pot roast. So, and then there's this little throwaway line where Anna's like, oh, okay, that's okay. I love to cook. So I guess she just knows how to make a pot roast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
thinking about pot roast the cat.
Pot roast is weird because I feel like depending on like who you are, that's either really basic or really ambitious for just. But like, because my thing is like cooking for a new family,
right?
Like
especially like a conservative, farming, rural family.
Yeah, I would not want to cook for strangers ever. Basically.
So you don't want to be a chef, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. But even, like, just, like, when we had, like, our vacation trip or whatever, and Bob made, like, stew for everyone one night, I was like, okay, that was good. But I still felt, like, confident because he'd made it before. But I would have been extra nervous if he hadn't made it before.
The stress I was under making pasta for everyone that evening.
It was really yummy, though.
I had like 3 breakdowns in the middle of the kitchen.
I love cooking and baking for people, so I don't share this sentiment.
Like, I love cooking, like, for my family and, like, for guests. I think it was just the added pressure of, like, I'm like, okay, these are, like, friends that I'm meeting for the first time. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make everybody dinner. If I fuck up, I'm gonna be embarrassed. I'm gonna be like, wow, this was awful. I think there was a point, like, because, like, we determined that the pot wasn't big enough for the pasta. And I was like, oh, fuck, dinner's ruined. I'm like, fuck it, we're just gonna recycle the pasta water. We're doing this.
It has all the good starches in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was okay. I think it worked out fine.
It all tasted really nice.
Thanks. Recipe down below.
From a true Italian.
Yeah. Next time we get together, we'll do kind of cooking.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love that.
It's gonna be so chaotic.
Okay, so she's has some misgivings about this family, and now she's like essentially making dinner at fear point.
Yeah. She gets through it though, and the sheriff comes by with his family. If you remember, he was coming to dinner tonight, and the wife and daughter are acting very strangely, very meek and just plain and not talking to anyone. And the sheriff is like, oh, she's about his daughter, she's just shy. Lucille, you can say hi. And then she's like, hi. So at dinner, mom gets a little too tipsy, and pretty much everyone gets up and leaves the room to help her except for Anna and Lucille, which is the sheriff's daughter. Monica still isn't back from her hangout sesh with the boy.
You mean mourning her sister.
Right, exactly. So after everybody leaves and it's just these two, Lucille and Anna, Lucille very cryptically tells Anna, leave. And Anna's like, what? She goes, leave. And then at that moment, Monica shows back up and is like, hey, ooh, dinner looks great. Sorry I'm late. The car broke down.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the end of dinner. That's like nothing else
great.
happens. So then when they're doing, I think they're doing dishes or something. And Anna tells Monica that Lucille, was being weird, and she was like, she told me to leave. And Monica says, Lucille's always been, I don't know the politically correct way to say it.
Okay.
Slow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's uncomfy.
Yeah.
So like,
it's yucky.
I'm like,
and then the response to that
okay,
is, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, what? No, that doesn't change anything. What are you talking about?
because like
somebody who has a developmental disorder doesn't just say random things. What are you talking about?
Because
that's so
weird,
concerning.
because that kind of like, I don't know, but to me that clashes with the dialogue. I guess it wasn't necessarily exact, but like when he was like, you can say hi, not just like, oh, say hi, like whatever her name is,
Right.
But like if it's like,
yeah,
a permission, and because you said the mom was also weird and quiet too, so like, is she also quote unquote slow? Because like, what are you saying?
Well, so Anna feels bad after that and is like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Wow, I feel so bad. So Monica, instead of talking more about it, changes the subject to Kevin. And is like, ooh, you getting friendly with Kevin?
And does it seem like she ships that? Because I thought she was annoyed. Wasn't she like, if you like him so much, just marry him before?
Yeah, but she ran off to hang out with some guy.
I guess she's like, I guess we're just gonna be straight now.
Yeah. She just wanted Anna to meet her parents. That was it.
What a long con. I'm gonna seduce you so you'll meet my parents.
Well, with Monica's blessing, I guess, Anna sneaks out to see Kevin that night after everybody is asleep, which is honestly ridiculous because remember, she's college aged. But so like, the fact that she felt the need to sneak out.
I mean, she can't even be on the phone with Kevin without people being weird about it.
That's true.
So, like, it's absurd that she has to do this, but I guess I understand why she feels the need to. But, like, I don't know. I guess what my issue with Anna is, because, like, I keep wanting to give her credit because I'm like, okay, you definitely know that something's amiss because you keep, like, asking questions, but at the same time, you're so easily satisfied with, like, one-sentence answers that don't answer anything. So it's like, okay, are you even trying to save yourself anymore?
She is pretty gullible. She's, like, gullible, but then also, like, but something fishy is going on here. But all of these answers are excellent, so I can't put my finger on it.
This does seem to check out, but I've got the strangest feeling there's more to find out.
Yeah, pretty much. That's her entire attitude. Even though she sneaks out to see Kevin, so she's expecting him to be at the location that they were meeting, she still gets jump scared by him when he approaches her and says her name.
She's just a jumpy gal.
Who else were you expecting to find here?
Were you not expecting him to say anything, or?
I just would like people to text me, I am 5 feet away from you. Please slowly turn around.
I'm walking up to you.
Okay, I'm behind you. Get ready to turn around.
Ah!
Well, they don't really do very much on their little rendezvous. They kind of just hang out by a tree, trauma dump on each other. We get to hear Anna just talk about her mother a little bit. No new information for the audience. Like I said, this is just how she bonds with characters in the movie. And then she does also tell him that someone is stalking her, which feels like a wild... I mean, I guess if she's already trauma dumping, why not?
Let's just add on to it.
So, you've been hitting on me for a long time, and I finally agreed to meet up with you in the middle of the woods. Please, wait here while I tell you all of my baggage.
XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Yeah, just like... Now that I've decided to give you a chance, let me tell you about why I left my mom in Scotland. Let me tell you about this creep who's been stalking me and why I'm in your sad, scary town in the first place.
Let me tell you about this wacky family I've been staying with.
Oh my gosh.
They're pretty weird.
Well, he doesn't have any, like, helpful advice to say to her or anything. They just kind of keep walking around in the dark at night, and all of a sudden Zelda appears with a gun. She's like, whoever's out there, you're on private property and I have a gun. And they hide behind a shrub until she walks away, and then they kind of just run off. And it cuts to them outside of the house, and he's like, well, that made the night more exciting. And I'm like, almost getting shot. That's not something to joke about. Stop being flirtatious.
I mean, we made a lot of jokes about it.
I mean, but if you were actually in this situation, I'm not saying that it's not something we can't poke fun at.
I don't know, but I think like 10 minutes after we realized, like, oh, haha, this wasn't a mass shooting, we were like, oh, hee hee. Party poppers.
I actually had a dream that I think is like loosely based on that.
Oh no.
Where Ben Affleck, like, you weren't there, but Bob was there.
But Ben Affleck
he was the villain of the story.
Oh no.
I don't know why he was doing this, but he was we were at like a rec center or something, but he was like corralling us room to room, and he would like pick us off slowly, 3 in a room. And I this is so weird, but like the big part of my dream was I was like, look, he can't get all of us if we get into one big group hug, which like now that I'm awake, I'm like, that's such a bad plan. Like, that's
Like, let's all huddle up. Like, let's have a group hug.
like at least the people inside
He'll
the
be so
hug
taken
might
aback
be okay.
by our gesture of friendship.
Yeah.
he won't masculine us.
He'll be powerless against our
Yeah.
friendship.
Take that, Ben Affleck.
Like, Kanye was there too, and I saw him, and I ran into him.
This is wild.
And yeah, I ran into his back and like pushed him, and then he pushed me, and we were like, yeah, cool. And then like we just like bonded like that.
That seems like a very in character thing.
Also, Lori Beth Denberg was also in my dream, and I think she hustled
with the Oscars.
Everyone who mattered was there, but it was a very like cheap park rec center, so I don't know why this was his target. Because he was Ben Affleck. He didn't just look like him. Like, we called him Ben Affleck.
Sorry, I thought, like, Mr. Ben Affleck, why are you doing this?
Oh my gosh. That was a... But I woke up in better spirits than the day of that mall trip. Oh my gosh. Okay. Please continue, Rogue.
Well, so their night ends with a smooch.
Oh man, she's not gay after all.
Well, so when Anna comes back into the house, she sneaks back in, her light's off, she goes into the room, turns her light on. The dad is sitting on her bed in the dark, and she gets jump scared when she turns on the light.
That one is fair.
Yeah, it is.
I'd be horrified.
He interrogates her about sneaking out, basically treating her like a teenage daughter, and
Even though she's like probably 23.
and continues to call her a good girl. I know you're a good girl. Whatever.
So gross.
And is he calling her the right name still, or?
Yeah, he is. In the morning,
not yet finalized.
No, not yet. In the morning,
Any day.
Anna and Monica talk, and Anna wants to leave, understandably, and Monica is like, well, you're gonna have to wait until, well, first she goes, oh, won't you just stay a little bit? I'll talk to my dad and ask him to apologize. He'll apologize if I ask him to. And Anna kind of like looks over her shoulder at him uncomfortably, and Monica says, he's not a monster, which is not true.
We never said that. Why did you feel the need to share that? Is there something you're not telling me?
So Anna still wants to leave, and Monica is like, well, you're gonna have to wait for me to get the car fixed, because remember, it broke down.
Oh,
and
right.
Anna is like, well, I don't want to make you leave early, I'll just get an Uber. And Monica tells her, well, even if you could get an Uber to come all the way out here, that would be really expensive. And it's kind of like, yeah, I think I'm willing to pay, honestly.
Yeah, just anything to get out of here.
I'm trying to think of other methods to leave, because, like, there can't be nothing. There has to be some. It's the, like, 21st century. There's got to be some way to get out of a town, even if you can't Uber yet.
Ride your bike.
Go into the town and ask someone for a ride. You know,
please
like,
help me.
It's a small town.
Yeah, honestly, like, at this point, hitchhiking probably would be safer for you.
Yeah, if it's a small town, then, like, somebody's gotta have a weird feeling about these guys.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like, these guys, they're kind of crazy. And you're like, oh, yeah, I've had bad vibes about them for years. Thank God it's not just me. Let's get out of here. Then you have someone to gossip with on the drive home.
Mm-hmm. Well, Anna gets convinced that Monica is going to drive her. She is like, hold on. She goes over and talks to her dad. And she says her dad has someone who will fix the car, but it's going to be a little bit. I don't remember. Like less than a day, I think she said. Or a day. Okay. I don't know. So Anna is satisfied with this answer. And while Monica and her dad leave to go take the car in, Anna goes into the house and the mom is in there, and she apologizes for acting strangely because she's trying different medications for her depression and whatever. And so Anna is like, oh, that's okay. I'm gonna do some studying. And her mom tells her to study down there because she wants the company. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, why? You're trying to leave this family.
Why are you still entertaining them?
Well, when in Rome.
But the mom gives her permission to go to Monica's room to get a pen because her pen ran out of ink. So while she's looking for the pen, she finds something in Monica's room. Do you have any guesses?
Is it like, I don't know. It could be anything at this point. It's
I know it's something incriminating.
Yes.
Like a stack of black envelopes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. She finds a black envelope.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, good on you.
See, 40 minutes later.
This one is different though, because there's a letter inside instead of like a note or like something incriminating that might imply that she's the stalker, other than the fact that it's a black envelope. So it's a letter inside, and it's a note from Camilla when she was running away. And the gist of the note is she wrote it to Monica. She was like, Dad is being really weird. He changed the lock on my door, and he keeps telling me that I'm a good girl. I don't want to end up like Lucille, so I'm going to leave now while I can, and I'll come back for you. So you just keep being a good girl until we can figure it out. Bye, Camilla.
Wait, how old is Lucille again? I thought she was like 12 or something.
Oh, no, she's like their age. Or a teenager. Yeah. Or a teenager, I don't know.
Okay, well, yikes. Okay, well, now you got enough
disaster.
ammunition. Forget the car.
Right.
Just
Run.
get out of here.
So to get away from, like, the mom, because she was hanging out with her, she says she doesn't feel good and she's gonna go lie down, and goes and starts packing. While she's packing, she calls Kevin to confide in him, like, she's figured out that the whole family is in on it, and that they want her to be Camilla. She's figured it out. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what? No, that can't be true. I don't know. I think you're overreacting, just brushing her off. And then it's like, all right, well, if you really feel this way, we should call the police. And she's like, no, we can't call the police because the sheriff is her dad's best friend.
I mean, and again, so, they're not wrong. That would happen. Yeah, we gotta protect our own.
But she does meet Kevin in the meadow. And on her way there, she's grabbed by Zelda, and like Zelda suddenly wants to help her. He's like, I can help you get out. And she's like, no, stop, get away from me, crazy lady. Like pulls herself away, and I'm like, why aren't you listening to her? You're trying to leave.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like she's on your side now. So she meets up with Kevin. Kevin puts her in the back of his car so they can drive into town without anyone seeing her. But, oh no, Kevin is in on it too.
Oh no.
Of course he is.
He's like being flirty with her this whole time. and is like, okay, oh no, I see the sheriff. It looks like he's looking for someone. She's like, see, I told you. And he's like, he says something flirty. And then he's like, just stay down. But then she sees the mailbox that's in front of the house that she was staying at. And she's like, oh. And then,
it was you.
Why are we back at that house? So then he starts monologuing about how Camilla was his girlfriend, and she used to be a good girl, but she lost the way. She
the good girl town?
I don't know.
Okay. Is this
a creepy
Utah?
Small town?
What's going on?
So now Anna will have to be his girlfriend. And
no, she's gay.
I just love that.
Which,
now you're my girlfriend.
Which I feel like if he had just, like, she was into him, you could have just waited. You could have had a natural relationship.
You could have just been normal.
Yeah.
I mean, she thought you were the stalker. You should have just ran away with her. Like, you had her. You could. I mean, that would suck, though. You're running away from a stalker, end up getting kidnapped by those stalkers, think you get saved, and then he kidnaps you separately, like if you just couldn't catch a break.
Nope. Well, he brings her back to the house where the dad is waiting for her, and the sheriff is there also. So, like, the whole all we've seen of the town minus the barista is in on it.
This is becoming the end of Hereditary, and I don't like when
yeah, exactly.
If they're all naked in like a little tree house, I think I have to leave.
Oh, that would have been a good plan if she was like, hey, can we stop off for coffee? Because he probably would have just taken her to get coffee. And then she could talk.
And the baristas would help.
Yeah.
Lady, you are right. These people are nuts. Help me.
Yeah. They drag her out of the car. The dad injects her with like a tranquilizer.
Wow,
and
those are so easy to get a hold of in Lifetime Land.
Yeah.
I know.
You can get anything on Amazon.
They really are. Yeah, it's not explained. I don't think it ever explains what the dad does, so I don't know how. Yeah. It's also a mystery drug. We just assume it's a tranquilizer because she goes to sleep.
Okay.
It's
when she wakes
I
up.
almost said Fraggle Rock, like the old show. What's the Riverdale drug called?
Oh, yeah, Fizzle Rocks.
Okay.
And also there's Jingle Jangle.
I hate Riverdale so much.
That's
I
not
don't know why they picked stupid names. They should have just gone with like actual drugs, because now all of the tension is gone with the dumb
hearing
names.
them and their like gruff voices go, yeah, he's all hopped up on Jingle Jangle, is kind of just gives me life, because it's like, what are you doing? Why?
It's like
what are you saying?
We're watching a baby show.
It's
This is
like
for babies.
It's like how they portrayed the North Pole.
Yeah. It's like elves.
Yeah.
We're just like overworked.
Oh my gosh.
When
CW,
Anna wakes up, everyone is just fully leaning into acting like she's Camilla. And her clothes are changed into presumably a Camilla dress. There's a lock on her room, like on the outside, so she can't get out. And they board up her windows. I don't know how long she was out. That seems like a lot of construction.
They've got a whole town in on it.
Yeah, true.
They got hands to do it.
Oh, there's like this show on HGTV a while ago where it's like, we have 4 hours to flip this house. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's what they did. We have 3 hours to construct our kidnapping room. Everybody quick. I'll do the drywall, you do the wallpaper. Move that bus.
the dad comes in and explains to her the situation and then says, once you've re-earned our trust, you can use the rest of the house again. And if that goes well, maybe you can start going into town.
What?
Oh, goody.
Yeah. It's
Not
just...
that I'm gonna give advice to kidnappers. Don't do that. Because the second you're like, I trust you, you can go into town, they're gonna tell the police, and you're gonna get arrested and go to jail for the rest of your life. Because you committed a crime.
And that's the kind of friend's advice to kidnappers.
Basically.
Yeah, kind of friends educational moment for the day. If you want to keep your kidnapping victim safe and sound, just never let them out of your sight.
Yeah, you want to kidnap, do it right. I don't approve, but
You gotta commit to the
please do
bit.
it correctly.
I like how it was a bit is the new, it's just a prank.
Oh my god.
So after the dad gives her this information, I guess, mom comes in with a tray of food and a full bottle of pills, which they force her to take
All of
by
them?
telling her it's the pills or the needle. And she hides it under her tongue, which is very clear. Her face is very suspicious, and he makes her open her mouth, but doesn't make her move her tongue. Which,
That's like the
Like
one
thing that you do
yeah,
when you're making sure that like a patient isn't cheeking medication.
right. But nope. So she avoids, I guess, getting tranquilized again. I assume that's what the pills are. I don't really know. They never explain that. They do look suspiciously like Viagra, but
Oh no. Props department. You made a mistake.
she has to spend the rest of the night in this room. The next morning, she hides under the bed and escapes when the mom is confused and locks the mom in the room. And then dad comes running in, figures out that she escaped, and this is her plan for escaping. She grabs her backpack. Instead of running out of the house, she puts a walkie-talkie in Monica's room and then hides in the kitchen and acts like she's making a 911 call through the walkie-talkie. So he hears it through the walkie-talkie that's in Monica's room, but not her actually saying it in the kitchen. Because I was like, that was an okay plan, but you should have been at the car already.
Going. Yeah, you should have been like out of the house.
Yeah. Because what was the point? You like delayed him slightly and then didn't even leave the house. You were just still in the house.
Or better yet, just don't do the walkie-talkie thing at all. Because if you don't, then you have an even bigger window of time to get out. Because then the people in the house aren't that suspicious that you're gone.
Right.
Because they're not hearing the 911 call.
She could have already been at the car by the time he figured out what his wife was saying. And what she was saying was she escaped.
They needed a couple extra minutes of runtime.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that stretch this movie out. So she finally does run out of the house, but before she can even get in the car, the dad catches her. But then Zelda comes to the rescue with her shotgun and is like,
I'm gonna shoot you.
let her go, or whatever. She rescues her. Anna escapes in the car. This whole time, Monica is nowhere to be found, right? So she escapes in the truck, and the shots of her driving down the road to get back to whatever city she's from make it look, I don't know if this the way she's shot or if they did this on purpose, but it makes it look like she's driving at like 10 miles per hour. She's going so slowly. And I'm like, why did they not shoot this to make it look like she was speeding? I don't...
Because they have the cameraman in front of the car backing up so they can film her driving. But if they go too fast, she's going to run him over.
It's very jarring and pretty hilarious, honestly. But she makes it back to the house that she was staying in with Monica, and Monica is there in the kitchen, and Anna is like, you were just gonna leave me there? Like, what? Excuse me? And Monica grabs a knife and starts coming at her with it, but Anna hits her over the head with a cast iron skillet.
Oh my god, I love Tangled.
Which, like, I'm almost positive she would be dead.
Yeah, you'd probably, like, crack her skull.
Yeah. Cast iron is so hard and heavy. Yeah. It's...
Yeah, we have a cast iron. Ooh, that's... Yeah.
Just bonk, brain shattered. Here, let's see if he'll answer. Andrew, if you whacked someone over the head with a cast iron skillet, would they...
I'm afraid of the results you're gonna get. I think you're gonna get put on a list.
No, Andrew's definitely gonna be like, number one, why are you asking? Number two, here's my EMT response. Here's an assessment of the damage. Right, so her face is for sure broken.
She is not even bleeding.
Oh, okay.
Like, she falls to the floor unconscious, but, like, she's not even... But also, like, movies show people getting knocked out all the time, but, like, that's not a good thing. If you're out for, like, several minutes, that's really bad.
Brain damage.
Yes, exactly. Like, you need a hospital.
Yeah.
So she's out of the picture, which is great. Anna turns around, sees a chessboard set up with two, like, partially full glasses of wine, and immediately realizes what's going on, looks over. Camilla appears in the doorway.
Huh?
Walks down the hall, appears in the doorway. And as soon as she sees Camilla, Anna instantly figures out that Greta is the one who died in the crash, who they found the body of. And it was Camilla's body that they actually never found. And they just faked her death. Zelda helped Camilla fake her death so she could escape. After they crashed. It's not like they planned the crash. It was like after the crash, Greta died, Camilla didn't. So instead of like
a big chance. Yeah,
so they made it look like somehow
that was the
Camilla was
switch.
The one. So
we figured it out.
We figured it out. So the plan.
Oh my god.
The plan was for Monica to find a replacement for Camilla for her parents so that she could leave. So Monica was like, hey, if I find a replacement for Camilla, can I not live here anymore? And her parents were like, sure. And so that was the plan, so that Monica and Camilla could run off together. That doesn't sound good.
That sounds
but
weird.
essentially that. So they could escape their controlling parents. So Camilla was just going to steal Anna's identity and start over
and subject
in
Anna
Scotland.
to this horrible, crazy family life.
She had her passport and she was going to steal her identity in Scotland. Like, were you going to put on a Scottish accent? No? Yes? Did you think that through?
I'm...
Even though I feel like she can still do that because she faked her own death. So she can still start over.
just make up a new. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
I'm Kate. Hi. What the fuck? Why is she lying?
This really goes off the rails. As you can tell, this is like the very end of the movie.
The writers are like, oh god, we've been at this for 4 weeks. I want the script to be over.
So the payoff, this is the payoff of Anna's tragic backstory that we got to hear about with there was no development in that. We just heard about it a lot. This is the payoff. Camilla says, none of us wanted to turn out like our mothers. So we're supposed to feel sympathetic because they both have bad families.
Suddenly, everything
That's not the
happened is
takeaway.
okay.
That was Anna's takeaway because she helps her by giving her her passport and saying, you can start a new life in Scotland. I'll just report my passport stolen after you're settled because I know what it's like to need to start over.
Oh my god.
Well, then if she reports the passport stolen, then eventually it's gonna lead back to Camilla, and she's gonna be fucked.
Did Anna have an accent?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
So
her
she's-
actress is from Glasgow.
Yeah. And she does. Yeah,
Wow.
she had an accent.
So now she's just... And you
Gonna be
stole
here.
their identification, or there's just going to be two
No.
Annas running around?
There's just gonna
The
be two
world.
Annas.
Ah,
I need a
great.
bath. This just hurt my head.
Oh wait, we're still not done yet. So
There's
so
more.
Camilla
Oh my God.
leaves. Camilla leaves. Camilla walks over to her sister, who's just bleeding
On
out
a
on the
corpse
kitchen
on the
floor, except
ground.
she's not actually bleeding out. But you know,
She's
nobody
resting.
cares about Monica. Camilla goes over and says, "I love you. I'll miss you. Bye," and then leaves.
Without even waiting for her to wake up. See you
Yeah.
later.
Anna holds an ice pack on Monica's head until she wakes up, and then is
Just
like,
her
Camilla
broken
says she
skull.
loves you. Camilla wants me to know that she loves you. Also, I'm taking the apartment. You need to pack your stuff and move out, but your parents will keep paying the bills. I think that's only fair. I'm like, how are you gonna do that?
Yeah, like... I'm like, I don't know, maybe just keep living with her.
I mean, after all this, I don't know if
gay.
I'd want to live with her.
No, I wouldn't. But, like, I do think as far as having a rent-free apartment, that's the only way I see it actually lasting.
Yeah.
But golly, I'm not...
So this is how the movie ends. This is the last lines of dialogue. Anna asks Monica how she likes it. She's like, "You're probably hungry. How do you like your eggs?" Monica goes, she's still on the floor holding the ice pack, scrambled, and Anna smiles and says, "Perfect. Me too." As if they just like really wanted to drive home that queerness angle.
I like my eggs scrambled just like my brain is right now.
Wait, so but what does that mean? Does that mean she doesn't have to leave? She's just gonna make them both some eggs?
No,
We'll eat eggs and be happy?
I think she's killing her with kindness, kind of thing. I don't really know.
She just
I didn't.
can't commit to the bit. So you need to get out, and then now she's like, "Oh, hee hee, I'm gay. Here's some eggs."
Oh my gosh. That's really how they decided to go out. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how they wanted to go out.
The last line of your movie is, "How do you like your eggs scrambled? Me too." End credits.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Your
The
spooky
writers
horror
did not.
movie.
They did not give a single shit at this point.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
They're like, thank
well-
God it's done.
Well,
Wow.
that was a fun roller coaster of garbage.
Yes.
This movie stinks.
How
Wow.
spooky.
It smells like butt. It's so bad.
How spooky did you think it was?
Oh, it was so scary.
Well, I'm thinking about everything else we covered this month, and I feel like basically about as spooky as anything else.
I agree.
Take that for what you will.
You know what? If your friend that you've known for 2 days offers for you to stay at their family's house after you're being stalked, that's kind of a nice thing for them to do, but just assess your safety.
Make sure you've got your own ride. Like, I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never go to a secondary location.
Alright. On that note, Rogue, thank you for sharing with us about the Deadly Switch. It was something.
It was something.
Very deadly.
And
Yeah, it wasn't
guys.
even deadly. I guess the dead part of it was Camilla and Greta.
Yeah.
I guess that they... Yeah, I guess not. It was more like scary Switch or
Ooh, I mean, Greta
unsettling
did die. That was
Switch.
pretty deadly.
The creepy switch.
Disturbing Switch. But yeah, I guess it wasn't really that deadly. There weren't really any deaths that happened in our timeline. They already died.
Yeah.
Everyone was gonna die. Huh.
Do you think there's like there's a porn parody of the Deadly Switch where it's the same thing, but like it's gay and like they're both switches?
Oh my god.
I'd watch that version.
That's you
the
make
porn
that
parody.
version and we'll watch it. Alright. Well, on that note, thank you guys, and remember to comment, like, and subscribe because we all need friends. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Halloween. Ooh.